and what they find and what they have to pull these kids out of. Rape and torture, those words don't do it justice of what individuals in trafficking are going through right now. When I say the most vile, unheard thing you can think of, I tell people you would know when you find something because of the smell. See, traffickers, I don't know what it is, but have you ever seen Hoarders, the show, or just Hoarders in general? Or if you've ever been into a hoarding house, the smell of it is like, you know what I mean? Traffickers, we were talking about this earlier. Traffickers keep things. There's a joke, people say cunt or cum bucket or cum trash can. People don't understand that when I say traffickers keep every little thing, they will make they make glasses, okay, to have golden showers, piss in, to have cum in, and either make you drink it or they keep it as a decoration, even if they've sold you.
Okay.
Like, there's so much, okay, there's like...
That's where trafficking stops and then satanic ritual abuse overlaps. I told you there's several components of this. Satanic ritual abuse is the next component we're going to start dealing with more. Trafficking is kind of the past videos we talked about, but here's where it starts overlapping with satanic ritual abuse.
Yeah. You will see that with the Epstein documents, you will see that kind of any story that you find, a trafficker will keep a souvenir or a trophy from their victims. I don't know why that is. I recently did that live interview on Eastville. This woman in Eastville kept a cellar in the back of her house with all the daughters that she had, which included me and her dead daughter. All of her things were in there. I am talking about old tampons. I am talking about old used tampons. I am talking about fluid from their body that's even evaporated in the cup, but the cup is still there, okay? They keep the most nastiest, the most vile, unheard things after the fact. And they do the craziest things. If you have watched a horror movie, think of one of your worst nightmares and times that by 10, plus more.
Some of the reasons why they keep these things are they can pull DNA out of it. Number two, they can use it for witchcraft, for spells. You see me post a lot, and I'll say, I just said about RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I said she's a coven witch. When I say coven witch, I mean they are actual broom flying.
You don't live in the world you think you do, Instagram!
Cauldron stirring witches, and they will use things like that for spells. What you see on movies of, it's always the joke, the witches need powdered frog eye and tail of a newt and all that crap. They make actual witchcraft spells and do rituals and do all that stuff. So they will save DNA. They will follow victims. They will follow people and take their DNA.
I see everybody. There's some people on my Instagram that just said, "Hold up, not me. I'm going out." Listen. Okay, wait a minute. Let's flag on the play. Flag on the whole play. When you finally hear what's going on, when the names finally come out. See, what pissed me off at the rally yesterday was the fact that people don't understand. See, I've been trafficked to high politicians. I'm talking about high politicians that people now worship to this day. I've been trafficked to celebrities that people love, honor, respect, idolize, and listen to every single day. I work in the media. That's why celebrities don't faze me. Okay, for number one. For number two, that's why I'm not the type of person that's like, everybody bleeds red. I am the type of person that everybody bleeds red because I've been around some crazy shit. All right? There are elites. Who do you think went to Epstein's Island? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, why is Oprah, Ellen, and everybody else running? Why isn't child trafficking on mainstream media? Why am I the one? Why don't you see a celebrity platform right now that's getting shit ready for Child Lives Matter, but everybody getting shit ready for Black Lives Matter? Nobody is making a point to say something about the children, but they're making a point to say something about their minority. Ask yourself why. It's because the people that run the news and the people that are already on the news are the people who are trafficking your children. That's why. Before you look at something crazy and second guess it, do your research and do it for yourself. Don't let the TV, don't let your friends, don't let someone else tell you what is going on. Don't let it be me either. Look for yourself. But I'm telling you right now that I've been in the hands of somebody that you worship, and I can tell you right now that everybody that's watching this video will watch this video or has watched this video. I've been in their hands. I know about it. That's why I don't play with it. That's why it's serious to me, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. Before you take the second to say, hell no, this can't be true because I love them. This is crazy because they're who they are. There's a reason
who are they? How do you know who they are?
They know who they want you to know. They give you the information they want you to know. You see the things about me that I want you to know. So what do you think celebrities do? Instagram. See, we haven't had this talk on my Instagram, so I see a lot of people that's like, nope, nope, can't do this one. Nope, you're about to. No matter if you like it or not, it's 2020. There's so many things coming up and will come up before this election that you will have to do because you just don't want to and you're just going to go through it. All right? And when these children, there's so many people being pulled, there's so many children. Ask yourself, how many children have been pulled out of the ground in the last 3 months than in the last 2 years? When they're finally out, when they finally go through their rape kits, when they finally clean up the wounds, heal up the bruises, put in the stitches, the staples, and do all the surgeries that they need because their bodies are all out of whack because of all the wicked things that people have been through. There are that's cosmetic surgery that traffickers have to go through, some of them survivors. I can't have kids of my own. Thank God it wasn't that brutal for me, but I know that it can be even more for somebody else to the point that your body, excuse me ladies, your vagina is reconstructed because someone tore you up so bad that you can't walk. That's what I mean. And the same thing goes for boys. That's why I'm saying we have to be careful in what we put in these bags because they take things that look like screwdrivers and they screw them into little boys' penises for pleasure. Those, when they finish, when they get through all of that, they have to tell their story. When they get through all the rape kits, all a lot of emergency, when they're finally at the aftercare facility, when they finally find them somewhere to go, they have to tell their story. When things come out, you will not be able to sleep at night. I'm trying to get some people ready for that. I'm over here waiting for that. I'm ready for that day because some politicians, I'll be giving their names too. I'll be going into hiding soon, I'm sure. Not soon. Don't freak out, Instagram dancers. Don't freak out. Not soon. But I'm pretty sure when it's time, I'll have to go back into hiding. We're okay, dancers. But just soon. It's just the reality of this life. We just have to be careful with them. And you just please have to understand that everything that you have ever been taught, get ready to be retaught everything.
Yeah, you're better off if you unlearn most of everything you think you know and start from scratch because 20 years ago, I would have never dreamed any of this was possible, happening. I would have argued with anybody that this stuff was crazy. But we live in a different world, and things are not the way we've been taught.
Yeah, they're your psychic shops. How do you think your psychic shops stay into business? I'm going to tell you right now that I've been through those, and your psychic shops are facades. They're smoke and mirrors. I don't do Halloween. I don't do magic because I've been through that crap. It's very real.
Let's talk about the psychic shops real quick.
Since we are coming
up on Halloween.
Carly,
she's a therapy dog. Your psychic shops are usually in prime real estate property in your town. They're in every town. They're basically a broker. They broker trafficking. They broker drugs. They are the middleman, so to speak. Pay attention to your psychic shops. You'll never see people coming in. You never see people leaving. How do they stay in business? You might want to ask that.
And about all the discounts and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now
that's all coded.
Riverside, California, off of Arlington.
Arlington and Magnolia, right there.
I have been to this shop. Calling it out right now. There's a lot of things that you guys will find out that is unreal. They're not real. And the thing is, when you find out what's going on in these places, you will never be the same. I am terribly afraid of the dentist. We don't have to say anything because, this is classified information. It's going to be my IGTV a little bit. But you know what? We ain't got to talk about it. But I am deathly afraid of the dentist.
Most survivors are.
And most survivors are. Reason why? You will see that if you go back into the Epstein files, even then, there's a dentist chair and everything that you find. Those are torture chairs. The dentists, they hire dentists to come put trackers and all kind of crap in your teeth and torture you.
Yeah,
me and Dennis, we don't get along. No. Dentist is not your pal. I do not sing that song. Never did in kindergarten either. And because I go way back, there's so damn much. There's no video. You guys would have to come to a whole, we would have to make a whole night for everybody to come out live for a whole 3-4 hour session for me to barely actually get to the real trafficking. The word trafficking, what people hear, even what the people hear at the rallies and at marches, I don't think people are mad enough because they don't know what it is.
I can usually tell where somebody stands and where their comprehension is by the questions they ask me, by the way they respond. And most people don't know the depth. I can gauge where your thinking and where your depth of understanding is by your response to it and by your questions that you ask. And most people aren't grasping the pure evil of it.
Yeah, if people knew that there was someone who, as we speak right now, has metal clinks outside to tie children to on a daily to torture them with an electric prod or a magnifying glass in the sun like freaking Toy Story, you wouldn't be okay with that. If you knew they were stone cold naked and you knew that they drugged them, and not only drugged them, but they drugged them enough to have a reaction out of them when they knew they were in pain, you would not just be going to the march to walk. You would be pissed. You'd be sick. There's things that people don't realize. There's things that I have a nightmare of that I don't realize. People ask me all the time, especially on Instagram, why are you always so happy when you dance? It's because it's my therapy and it's my only release. And I'm alive, and I'm blessed to do that. Dance has always been used backwards for me. Life has always been backwards for me. I was told that, yes, you watch cartoons, but I grew up with Jimmy Neutron, the Powder Puff Girls, Pirates of the Caribbean, Snow White, and all of them with porno. I watched the cartoon, but backwards. So when my mom finally took me to Disney, I was freaking the hell out, for number one. And for number two, everybody was asking me, have you seen the actual movie? And I'm like, which movie? You know what I mean? So, it's just...
But, okay, so, when I say, don't grasp things, in a million years, it would have never occurred to me that somebody took cartoons and used them for pornography to train children. My mind does not work like that. Normal human beings' mind doesn't work like that. You literally have to train yourself to think in a whole other way, just to understand what's happening.
When I say regular kids and underprivileged kids, I think people don't understand. Regular kids, you can have a conversation. You can go purchase slime. Some kids think that slime is so funny. It's cool. You wouldn't be able to have that same conversation with a trafficking survivor who thinks slime is body fluid. You know what I'm saying? There's just so much. So much.
Thankfully for me, God, I was raised normal, middle class, American, go to church, worship God, human being. Most of the people that are on my Facebook page and most of the people that I'm around are. But then I also had to see this other side, and being able to see both I think God is using as a way for me to like say, look, things are not the way we were raised to believe. Things are not what we see. Here's why. Because in a million years, I could have never thought of this stuff. When I say the world isn't how we think it is, it wasn't how we were raised to believe, it's truly not. Like, these people are evil. They think in a whole completely separate way.
There's flavors of it, and I tell people all the time, because there are other survivors, and some survivors can say, I have not been through that much. And when you say that much, there are people who, like, you get caught up in it with your family, or you got caught up in it with a person online, or, you know what I mean, something like that. Then there's being taken into underground bunkers. Then there's having jobs of someone beating you or torturing you or shocking you or tying you up and putting you in a pool, like in a hog tie, and raping you and making sure that you can wake back up from it. There's being put in a casket with bugs and spiders and worms and all kind of things, and being buried alive in a plastic bag and then taken back out and told that you were saved. There's so many different things of trafficking that I don't think people understand.
The SRA, the satanic ritual abuse, the witchcraft, the occultism, the dark religion, that overlaps with trafficking. If you think about it like this, what kind of a mind, what kind of a person can sell a child? None of us can. No average American that was raised middle class in that normal American patriotic mindset.
What kind of person would be able to stand still? Are you the kind of person that's able to stand still and watch somebody beat the hell out of somebody that's defenseless?
And most of us say no.
Yeah.
So how did all these people come about? Where did they come from? Like, how are they able to do this?
And you just have to understand that they cross a point. They get to a point of just having sex. Just sex. Or getting in a fight with somebody and just having this anger issue and beating the hell out of somebody, okay. But then there's literally torturing someone and drawing blood from someone, and
it's when they start dealing with the satanic ritual abuse and the witchcraft and the dark spirits and all that is when they kind of cross that line. And then the more they do, the more that they have to do. So if I cut you and I see blood and that brought me enjoyment, then the next time I'm going to need to see a little bit more blood. When I say it's kind of like crack addicts or heroin addicts.
Yeah, it's an addiction. It's really an addiction. It's a sick addiction that you can't, and there's like withdrawals. These people can't control themselves. If they don't get their fix, they will go crazy. And when they finally do get their fix, if they get a hold of somebody and it's been too long, I'm talking about people that will tie someone to a horse stable and hurt them until after they're dead and still hurt them because they get a fix out of it. There are people who get fix out of raping dead bodies. I don't want to scare y'all too much on Instagram because y'all probably look at me like, I thought we was going for a quick live. I didn't know this was going to get here. But please understand that if you donate to a trafficking survivor, you have no idea what they've been through and where they've been. They're probably not even from here. You probably seen them on a milk carton, on a Walmart thing, on TV, years and years, maybe decades ago, and you think they're dead, and they're coming up.
With the Epstein thing and how she was just explaining, we had talked about the ledgers before, where they keep all that information and all this, and they don't let go of anything, and they hoard all this stuff.
I don't know why that is either. I would love to ask a crazy, sick-minded fool real quick, why
they might
do
not
you
know.
keep everything?
But when they start matching up this DNA that they've had stored from old tampons, from old blood, from all these different things, you're gonna start matching up where all these missing kids went, what happened to John Bonet, where Natalie Holloway went. You're gonna start finding that because
I'm telling you, you'll see the weirdest crap when things come alive. You'll see that there's people who will rape you and chop off your hair and keep that thing of your hair. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. That part I don't know. I really can't answer that question. It's just a thing. So when it all comes out, which it will, because look how many stories. Look how many people have gotten saved. Go back. Look at my post. Look at my mother's post. Look at other people's posts that are pulling them out of the ground. Look how many have been found in Georgia. There's people all over the world. Oregon. I have a new friend here that's from Melbourne and knows about the tunnels that are underground in Australia. Australia is a hub. It is a major hub. These fools fly kids out in 2 seconds real quick for a job. Sometimes they get left there. They're expendable. If there's a job that goes wrong and they don't want to go back for that product, they will leave that product there because it can die, it can expire. We don't care. We can find another one. That's how they treat you. This is 7, 6, 9, 10, 12, 14, 18, 21-year-old boys and girls. And you'd be surprised at what else can be trafficked. That's not even something we want to get in for this live. But right now, these survivors, they need to see that they exist and that people know that they exist and that everybody's not brushing them up under the rug. The reason why it pissed me off at that rally yesterday was everybody is commingling what's going on. They're losing the focus. There is no need to argue about who went where for the rally. There is no need to argue about what march, how many people was at this one, and what did they do, and what media was there. That doesn't matter. Get focused. Just focus on the real point. You are out there because, and what's weird is people, there's God in a lot of people. I know some people don't believe in it, but you could go ahead and just believe in your higher power, whatever you believe in Instagram, okay? But whatever you believe in, something is pointing you in the direction of those survivors, okay? And as those survivors pass you, when they see you, they automatically see that there's another way for me to get out. There's a chance, there's hope, there's someone that's listening. So don't focus on the wrong part of the story. Don't try to educate somebody on a political agenda. That's for them to figure out. If they're old enough to vote, they can figure it out for their damn selves who they need to vote for. Okay, that's not our job. Our job is to make sure while you're out there to save the kids. If you want to go for a political rant, go to those rallies that need that political rant. Go do your thing, holler as loud as you please. But for the children, please stay focused because you have no idea, and this is only the beginning for them. Just because they're free doesn't mean they're freedom. They don't have their freedom. So, yeah.
So, yeah, back if you want to donate, if you want to make a blanket or donate a blanket for the backpacks that we'll be taking, we still have 100 to fill. If you want to give a stuffed animal,
some sweats,
extra large or medium.
Sadly, you'll see that a lot of victims are the same size. It's easier because you're easier to grab, you're easier to transport if you're out. So you can kind of gauge the size of what a survivor or a victim would be.
So we're asking for extra large because that'll cover extra large and large, and then we're asking for medium, and that'll cover the medium and small. They just might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it might be a little bit fit, comfy fit, but they'll be comfy, and they'll be clean, and they'll be yours.
Coloring books, picture books, just some activities for them to do, comforting things, soft things, a blanket, a stuffed animal, just to give them a moment's peace.
Yeah. And if you want to put a note in it, like you're worthy, I see you, we're thinking about you in Pittsburgh, we're thinking about you here in Colorado. If you want to put something like that. The reason why I say I refrain from using religion is because you don't want anybody, especially going through that life right now, if God loved you or if whatever you believe in loved you, then why would you be going through this is the question that's running through their head.
And the people that traffic, they deliberately distort and taint, and like she said, they will do things like drown you until you pass out.
I grew up in the church, so some of these are my stories.
They'll drown you till you pass out, and they'll revive you and say, look, God doesn't love you, you're too horrible, but we revived you and you belong to us and we're your family and yada, yada, yada.
Communion and all that stuff. When I first went to communion, I was like screaming on the inside.
Yeah, I'm going to make a video for the Christians. Because there's a lot of stuff in the church that is not okay. But communion was another thing. Like kids that have been trafficked, like I said, it overlaps with satanic ritual abuse. Those traffickers are satanic ritual abusers, witchcraft. They're witches. They're black priests. They're sorceresses. They're into dark, evil stuff. But they drink blood. Mm-hmm. They eat flesh. Mm-hmm. So when you take a kid into church, like, we don't go to church now. Mm-hmm. Because I was taking this kid there and we're doing communion and it's like, what the hell? Like, yeah, freaking it out! Drinking the blood, you know what I mean? There's just so much distortion. It was causing more damage. So there's just a lot of things, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. We got a lot of topics for a lot of days.
I'm telling you right now, you don't live in the world you think you do. People purchase on blood samples. Wayfair, prime example. They have like the advertisement, and then if you need a sample, you can pay for a sample of whatever fluid you want from that child. Blood. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just understand that I'm smiling with you in these videos because I want you to get ready, and you won't be as shocked as some people.
Yeah,
you'll still be shocked. You'll still be shocked. I will be shocked.
The sad part is I'm probably going to be shocked.
I would be very shocked. Because I know that the world has gotten way worse, and I was out of life. It's been now 9 years that I've been out of life. So I know that it's gotten way worse. Way worse. And I'm blessed because if I didn't end up in somebody's tunnel, I didn't end up in someone's house. I was not a household.
You're not a house lady.
I'm being so serious. I'm smiling, but I'm being so serious. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you. I love you guys. You're amazing followers. Thank you, Facebook. I love y'all so much. Family. So there. That's on my left is family. On my right is family too. Instagram family. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're doing. No matter what. I mean, you don't have to help. You can watch. But this is what we're doing to make a move for the trafficking survivors. I didn't realize we'd be getting an opportunity, blessed with an opportunity to be able to work with someone who's working with the task force. This is absolutely something bigger than I was ready for. This is something that was one of my goals, but it came really fast. So I'm blessed, and this is what I want to do. I also put out a story that I want to reach out to the foster agencies. I used to work for my mother's volunteer for my mother's foster agency that she worked for, and it was just a matter of ethnic hair. I don't cut hair, but you see my mama, my whole family's a rainbow, so I got sisters who cut hair. But for ethnic hair, I would go in and I would do those babies' hairs because you can't, I'm just gonna be real. There's white people, there's Mexican people, there's Indian people who do not know what black hair is. They have no idea. You have no idea that this ain't my hair. It's still my hair, I have the receipt. But you know
what I mean? That was one of the huge factors of why they couldn't place her with me, was because I was white and I wouldn't be able to do her hair.
Oh my God, we went through a whole thing. It was a whole fun thing too. Like there was court orders placed. It was ridiculous because she couldn't do my hair. Well, it's not rocket science, y'all. And foster parents, if you hear me now, you have done it this far. They're in your home, you're taking care of them, you have the heart for that. Everything else will fall into place. And there's always education. And there's YouTube for number one, right? If all else fails, there's YouTube. It tells you to do everything. But what I used to do is I would come in and wash hair, braid hair, whether it was their hair, natural or synthetic, get the kids ready. A lot of things. I think the longest I went without having my hair done was 8 months when I was in foster care. And I would do my hair myself. I had always braided my own hair, did my hair myself, but it came down to a fact where I didn't know where I was sleeping, so my hair was my last worry. It was, where's my pillow tonight? So there are kids who have that situation. At the time, I was only 13, 14. There are babies who come into the system and they don't have their parents. No one knows how to do their hair, so their hair gets matted to their head until someone does something to it or until they chop it completely off.
And then you got bullying issues. You got
You
all
have
kinds of-
self-esteem issues. You have confidence issues because your foster sisters, they have their hair done, or you go to school and you see all these girls and